Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So of course, as you guys can see, the angle's different, the video quality is probably different because I'm filming this portion of today's video with my iPhone. So this morning I actually asked you guys if you wanted to see a declutter series on my channel. You guys said absolutely. By the way, look at Lulu on the pillow. How cute is she? She's such a good girl. She loves anything fluffy, so I make sure that the pillows on my bed that I use as decor are always fluffy, and she just sleeps all day. It's the best life ever. Anyways, so I asked you guys over on Instagram if you wanted to see a declutter series. You guys said yes, and I am finally at the point where I'm like, okay, I really need to go through my makeup collection and just start to throw out expired makeup, get rid of things that I never opened and I'm never going to open and use. And I decided to just put them in a bin and do like giveaways for you guys, because what's the point of me keeping it if I'm not going to use it? And when there's so many of you that probably wanted those products, or you want to try them, or you just want some new makeup, I am always here for a good giveaway. So I do have a bin full of stuff already. I hope to finish filling it up by the end of this declutter series so we could do a massive giveaway for the holiday season. I think that'll be so amazing, and I think that'll be the perfect way for me to kind of just say thank you so much to you guys that have subscribed and it's always showing so much love. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing. Listen, don't judge me on my appearance today, okay? It's a cleaning day. I finished mopping the entire house. I've walked the dogs, made breakfast, fed the dogs, you know, just dog mom life basically. So I've just been cleaning all day, and I was like, you know what, now is the perfect time to do it. So I'm super comfy today. I'm just in a cute little pink crop top, some super comfy sweatpants. So very simple and very comfy. Like I said, this portion of today's video is on the iPhone, but you guys can see back there, I already have my ring light set up because we're going to be decluttering those Alex drawers today. I don't know if I'm going to get through all three because those drawers are basically filled with mostly eyeshadow palettes, but we'll see how far we get through. And I really just need to go through those acrylic organizers because a lot of them are super dusty and disgusting, and it's just not practical because the stuff that I have in there, it's a mess. You guys will see when we get there. But yeah, so what actually inspired today's video and declutter is this pile right here. This is a pile full of makeup of new launches that I ended up purchasing and never got the chance to use it on my channel, or haven't used it on my channel yet. And I just really need to figure out a better way to store my new makeup. Let me just give you guys a quick overview of what the room is looking like right now, and kind of just an overview of my beauty space itself so you guys can get a better idea. All right, you guys, so here is my beauty space. So it is in my bedroom. So this is what I'm working with right now. Your girl does not have a beauty room. I wish I did because I really do feel like I need the space. But listen, I'm so grateful to have somewhere where I can have the chance to film and even have this many organizers, and it fit perfectly. So I do have my vanity right over here. It's full of stuff, which is driving me insane. I can't even focus at this point. I was supposed to film a video today, but to be honest, I can't focus and clutter. So we're gonna get rid of that today. You guys obviously can see my shelves back there, which is the shelving that you see in my videos. This gray cart that you guys see over here is also filled with new makeup. It's filled with my backup products of things that I love and stuff of that nature, as well as those two bins up there as well. I have my two ring lights out, and then my third ring light out, which holds my camera, and that cute little cart over there, which holds a ton of other makeup products as well, mostly my setting sprays and backup setting sprays. So yeah, you guys, this is what I'm working with. And then of course we have this huge pile, like I told you guys, that I had to put away. And then this is the bin right here that I was talking about that's already filled with so many goodies for giveaways. I'm so excited, but I still have so much more decluttering to do. So this is probably going to be full by the time we finish, which is exciting. So yeah, you guys, that is the plan for today's video. There will probably be multiple videos. I cannot go through all this stuff in one video, or we'll be here forever. But I hope you guys are excited because I am too. So before we jump in to today's video, please don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, especially if you guys enjoy declutter videos. And of course, without further ado, if you guys would like to see a little glimpse into my makeup collection and help me declutter some stuff, then just keep on watching. I'm gonna start off with these acrylic organizers right here, just because they're just filled with stuff. It's ridiculous. So like I showed you guys, I have the giveaway bin, so we'll be creating a giveaway pile, and then just going through all the stuff in here. So this first drawer right here, as you guys can see, is filled to the brim, and I'll bring you guys a little bit closer so you can actually see what I'm doing. So this drawer right here is filled with cream bronzers. I'm obsessed with cream bronzers. I love them so much, but it's so full that I actually have a few just sitting on top of the acrylic organizer because they don't fit inside. So here's what they look like right here. So I'll put these down here to the side. So the first cream bronzers that I have in here, this one right here is from Makeup Revolution. This is actually a foundation stick that I bought in a darker color to use as a cream bronzer, and I absolutely love it. Here's what the shade looks like, and this one is in the shade F13, and it looks pretty disgusting, not gonna lie. I do have one that's completely sealed and brand new, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. The next cream bronzer I have right here is from Makeup by Mario, and of course I'm gonna be holding on to this one because I absolutely love it, and it is pretty much a newer product. I also have two of the Fenty Beauty cream bronzers. I am gonna keep both of these as well. I do have two shades. So the first shade that I have right here is the shade Honey Glaze, and then I also have this shade right here, and this one is called Macchiato. All right, you guys, so the next cream bronzer that I have here is from Soul Body. I do have two of these as well, and I'm gonna keep these two. This is the shade Medium, and then I also have the shade Light as well. I also have the Kylie Cosmetics bronzing sticks, which I'm actually going to get rid of this one because the color doesn't match me too well, and she also changed her formula, so I'm pretty sure that this is a completely different formula anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. The next one that I have here is from Nude Sticks. This is their cream bronzer in the shade Bondi Bay. I love this bronzer, you guys. It is so good. I also have a backup of this, but this one is still very good and it still works, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to this. The next cream bronzer I have here is from Be Perfect Cosmetics. This is their shaping stick in the shade Swirl. The shade is way too dark for my skin tone, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Then I also have the Juvia's Place foundation stick, and this one is in the shade Abidjan, and for me the color is perfect, but this is so dry on the skin. It's really hard for me to blend out, so I'm gonna actually go ahead and get rid of this. But I've seen a few people use this and it looks amazing on them, but for me personally it's just not my favorite. The next cream bronzer I have here is from the brand Palladio, and this is a really nice cream bronzer too. You can actually find this brand at Sally's, and they actually did send this over to me a while back. I did enjoy it, I did use it, but it does have a little bit of a smell to it, which indicates to me that it's pretty expired, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this as well. Next up, I have the brand new ABH cream bronzer. This one right here is in the shade Golden Tan, and I absolutely love this cream bronzer, you guys. It's really nice. I actually bought another shade, a little bit of a deeper shade, so I'm gonna hold on to this one as well because I really do enjoy the formula. Next up, I have the bronzer from the brand Say. Here's what the bronzer looks like. It's a really nice bronzer, and although it looks like it's super drying in the pan, it is actually very creamy on the skin, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. This is actually a newer item in my collection, and this one right here is in the shade Light Bronze. All right, you guys, so moving on to the next side of that drawer, I have here the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel, or something along those lines. This is what it looks like right here. As you guys can see, I have so much left in here, and I use this so often. This is one of my favorite cream bronzers in my collection. It's so beautiful, and although it looks pretty light in the pan, it gives you a really nice bronze effect, and I really do enjoy it. So I'm gonna be, of course, holding on to this, especially because she was a pretty penny. But if you ever can get your hands on it, I know it's always sold out. It's definitely worth the money, especially if you're around my skin tone. It's just absolutely beautiful. Next, I have the M Cosmetics cream bronzer in the shade Summer, and I absolutely love it, you guys. This has been one of my go-to cream bronzers lately, and the color is just perfect and it blends so well, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to this. Next up, I have the Huda Beauty Tantour cream bronzer, and I do have this in two shades. I'm just not sure where the other shade is at the moment, but this one right here is my most used shade, and this one is in the shade Fair. I will say, if you guys decide to pick this up, this does run pretty deep. Like I said, this is shade Fair, so definitely keep an eye out. If you think that you're that shade and you're buying online, maybe get a shade down because they're definitely pretty bronzy, but the formula is incredible. All right, you guys, the next cream bronzer I have here is from Milk Makeup, and this is their cream bronzer in the shade Baked. and I'm definitely gonna get rid of this. I used this on my skin the other day and it smells so rancid. It's absolutely horrible, and I still have so much product in here, which really sucks, but I've had this for a while, so I'm actually gonna get rid of this one and I'm gonna purchase a new one during the Sephora sale. But this is the shade. It's incredible. If you haven't used it, definitely try it because it's amazing. Next up, I have the Candy Paint Cosmetics Cream Bronzer. This is what it looks like right here. This is actually a super affordable cream bronzer. This one is in the shade Morning Views and the color is perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. I also have two of the KKW cream contour sticks. So it's a highlight on one side and a contour on one side. These are absolutely horrible. They do nothing for me and I just wasn't a fan of these, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of them. Not to mention I don't really use them that often anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter these. Next up, I have the Danessa Myricks Cream Bronzer in the shade Light, and I absolutely love this cream bronzer as well. It's one of my top 5s for sure, so I'm gonna go ahead and save this and definitely keep it in my collection. I also have a few of the e.l.f. Cosmetics cream bronzers. I'm gonna keep all 3. I have all 3 of them right here, different colors, and because they're all different colors, I'm gonna go ahead and keep all of them. Okay, so now the acrylic is nice and empty. I went ahead and took everything out. I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe this down, put everything back, and show you guys what I decided to keep. Alright you guys, so here are what the cream bronzers are looking like now. We've got some space in there. They all fit perfectly. And these are obviously the ones that I showed you guys that I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. Alright guys, so moving on to the next drawer, I decided to switch over to filming this on my iPhone. It's just a little bit easier to hold on to the phone than trying to move the camera everywhere. So hopefully you guys don't mind and hopefully the footage is still clear. But this second drawer that I have right here is just filled with my liners as well as my pigments. So these liners right here are all Suva Beauty Hydra liners. And then over here I have both of the Norvina Cake liners. I also have a few pigments from I Am Iconic. And then I also have some Glam Vice Retro liners. And then on this side over here I have some pigments. Now, as you guys can see, these pigments kind of just spilled all over the place. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe these down. And I'm basically not gonna do anything to this drawer. It's gonna stay exactly the same because I do use all of these. So I am just gonna wipe this down and just leave everything as is. All right guys, moving on to the next drawer. This drawer is basically filled with glitters. Now, I will say I don't really dip into this all that often, and that's because I don't usually use a ton of glitter. I am going to keep all the glitters, and that's only because, you know, you guys obviously know I do Halloween looks, and I feel like these can always come in handy, so that's why I hold on to them. But I basically have all ABH glitters here. These are what they look like. I have literally every single shade that you guys can think of. These glitters with the orange caps were actually from a Halloween collection that she did a few years back. These are from her holiday collection she did a few years back. And then I have a few of these pigments from ColourPop. I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of this because I don't use them. I'm going to get rid of this one from Wet n Wild as well, but I am going to hold on to the glitters. Over here I have all of the NYX glitters as well. So I have red, I have silver, I have purple, literally every single shade you can think of. And then I also have these ColourPop Super Shock shadows that are probably super dried out. I'm actually going to get rid of those. I have a few back here as well. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of all of those. By the way, excuse my nails. I'm getting them done tomorrow. I probably should have started this video then, but it's fine. Then we can go ahead and move these up. And like I said, I'm gonna get rid of all these pigments because I don't use them. So this is what the drawer is going to look like now. So much more space. I probably can just go ahead and fit the NYX ones over here with the ABH and then have this side of the drawer free. Okay, so we're finally at the top of this acrylic organizer. All the way up here, I have some more pigments. These pigments are from Makeup a Murderer. I have the UV neon ones and I also have a few pastel ones. And these are what they look like. I've never used these before, but they look so bomb. So we're gonna have to use these soon. I feel like I wish I would have remembered I had these. I would have used them for a Halloween look, but it's fine. I also did wipe down the top of this acrylic organizer because it was so dusty. That basically completes this first organizer. It looks so much better and there's so much more space. So let's move on to the next thing. And the next thing is this organizer that was sitting right on top of that one. And I wanna show you guys the dust on this thing. It's horrible. Look at that. These get so dusty, it's ridiculous. But anyway, let's go ahead and open this up. So in here, I have a few blushes. I have 2 of the California blushes from Benefit Cosmetics. I also have the Golden Peach blush. 2 of these is a little ridiculous. I'm gonna just check to see if one of them is brand new. I'll put it in a giveaway, and if not, I'm gonna get rid of the one that I used the most and hold on to the other one. I also have the 2 Sailor Moon blushes from ColourPop and their Sailor Moon collaboration, which I'm definitely keeping. And then I have these back here from ColourPop. I have to take a look at the colors of these because I don't know if I'm gonna keep these. And then back here, I have the Beauty Creations Brights collection. So they created this collection that came with colorful gel liners, which are these right here, and they also created pencil liners, which are here, and they also created colored bases, which are in this next organizer that we're going to get into a little bit later. But with these, I don't really use these pot kind of liners, so I'm actually going to open these up and see if they're still good. If they're still good, I'm going to go ahead and put them in the giveaway bin. All right, guys, so I went ahead and opened up one of the liners, and this is perfect. It looks like each liner is sealed individually, which is amazing, which means these liners should be pretty good until you actually break the seal. So that's perfect because I'm gonna go ahead and put all of these liners in that giveaway bin. So that's super exciting. Okay, so as far as these liners from the same collection, I'm gonna keep all of them. I really love colorful liners, and you guys know I do a lot of colorful looks, except I'm not gonna keep them in here. They shouldn't be in here in the first place. I have a drawer filled with my eyeliners, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove these from here. And then as far as the Benefit blushes, it looks like I used this one because you guys could see that gold overspray is gone, and it looks like this one is brand new. So I'm actually going to keep the brand new one, and I'm going to toss this one. And then as far as this blush right here, this is probably super expired. I'm going to go ahead and toss this one. And then as far as these ColourPop blushes, I'm sorry guys, I'm doing this one-handed. It looks like I've never even touched these. So this is the first shade. This is the second shade. Really beautiful shades, but girl, when I get to the declutter of the blushes, I'm probably not going to declutter much because I'm obsessed with blush, but I have so many that getting rid of these, I wouldn't even notice it. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the giveaway pile. And then that's pretty much it. This organizer will be completely empty. I don't even know what I'm going to put in it at this point. But it's empty and now I have more space. So I'm just gonna clean it up and put it to the side for now. Okay, so let's move on to this second organizer here. So we're gonna start top to bottom this time. So right up here at the top, I do have the Neon Obsession palettes from Huda Beauty. And I think I kind of just put it up here for the aesthetic. So that way, when you're looking at these organizers from afar, like this one looks kind of cute because you have the pigments. Because I have the pigments here, I have them up there. You can see the little glitters. I'll find something cute to put in here. So I think that's why I did it like that. And I think I did the same thing on this side. But I might take these out of here. However, I'm going to leave that like that for now because, of course, I'm keeping all of those palettes. In this next drawer here, I do have those Beauty Creation bases that I was telling you guys about. So these bases definitely remind me of the P. Louise ones. They're so affordable. I think these bases are about $6 each, which is incredible considering I think the P. Louise are about $18 US each one, which is pretty pricey when you consider how many they have. But these are a great alternative. And as far as the color range, but I have never tried them. Isn't that insane? I've never tried them, and I don't know if you guys can see, but they're kind of separating on me, which really sucks. But I feel like if I kind of like squish the tube around, it'll kind of mix together and they'll be fine. But yeah, I have all of them. I'm going to keep them in here for now because I have to find a place to put them. Over here on this side, I have the Pink Honey. This right here is called the Honey Glue, and this is just the brow gel. This went viral, I feel like, during quarantine, and I really wanted to try it, so I did order it all the way from the UK, and I have so many of them. So I have the strawberry, I also have the raspberry, I have the super hold, and then I also have the cola one, which has a little bit of tint. I barely use these, and I don't know if I ever will, but I'm gonna hold on to them for now. Back here, I have just a random Anastasia Beverly Hills glitter adhesive, and I'm gonna go ahead and save this because I think this is the only one that I have, but I am gonna move it over to this organizer over here, and I'll just put it here for now just because that makes sense because the glitters are there. And then back here, I just have a random Artist Couture Diamond Lights finisher in the shade Epiphany. Here's what it looks like right here. Such a beautiful shade, and honestly, like I said, I just put things places sometimes and forget about them. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this over here where all the pigments are. So like I said, this drawer is pretty much gonna stay as is. Moving on to the next drawer over here, I have a few of the ColourPop Cheek Dew Serum blushes. They're all in the packaging. Can you guess why? You're right, because I never even use them. So they're here, sitting in here. I don't want to get rid of all of them because I do still want to try them. Or if I ever want to do maybe a full face just using ColourPop, that would be something that I would grab. So I'm going to just give them a look and see which ones I'll keep. And I'll probably just get rid of 2 or 3. All right, you guys, so here are all the shades. So these are the 3 that I'm going to get rid of. This one is just super bright and dark. I don't think I'll ever use that. So is this one, and this one is just, it's not too cute, so I'm not going to keep that. But I am going to keep these 2, so it's more of like a peachy color and then more of like a rose color. And can I just say that the blushes look nothing like the box. This is the box for this blush. Like, what? But I'm going to keep these 2, like I said, and I'm going to put these in the giveaway bin. Okay, so moving on to this side of the drawer. This right here is filled with Kylie Cosmetics. However, this is her old packaging. So Kylie Cosmetics just rebranded and they completely changed the packaging. So, of course, these are pretty expired at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of them. Some of these are bronzers. Some of them are blushes. But like I said, it's just... they're so old. This right here is a highlighter. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of all these. And then this right here is the Everything Everywhere gloss from the Kendall and Kylie collection. I am gonna keep this because I do actually enjoy this. And if at any moment I want to do a wet eyelid kind of look, this would be the product that I would grab. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. Okay, so here's what that drawer is looking like. I'm so proud, you guys. Look how empty. I feel like we're actually getting somewhere. Look at the trash. Okay. We are decluttering, honey. So I'm going to leave this like this for now. Just close this up. Again, none of this stuff is going to stay like this. I am probably going to reorganize it or change things around, make it look a little bit more appealing. And then hopefully by the time we finish this declutter video, I'll be able to do like an entire makeup collection reveal kind of video. I think that'd be fun. So moving on to this bottom drawer. This is insane. Okay, so let me just tell you the story about these. These right here are from Beauty Creations. They launched a huge collection of glosses and they had the PR box for sale on their website with every single gloss that they launched. And guess what I decided to do? I decided that I wanted to buy the entire PR box. Did I need it? Absolutely not. Have I used even one of these? No, I have not. So what I'm going to do is just go through these. I'm going to get rid of the shades that just don't appeal to me, ones that I know I'm not going to use. And then just keep a few because this is just absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, it is cute how like you can see the little hearts on the acrylic outside. Obsessed. But we're not here for the aesthetic. Tatanisha, we need to declutter. So let's declutter some of these. Like I said, there's just some shades like this one, for example. Actually, this is kind of cute. That didn't help. Okay, so like this, for example, this is a super bright coral color. I would probably never use this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side. Keep in mind, these are unopened, so I am going to give some away. These are beautiful. These are colors I would wear. I'm going to keep. You guys, look at that shimmer. So beautiful. I also have this one right here that has less shimmer, but as you can see, it has kind of like a gold reflex. I'm going to keep this. So I'm just going to go through these really quickly. I'll create a pile of what I'm going to keep and what I'm not, and I'll show you guys what I end up with. All right, so I went ahead and narrowed it down. So I'm also going to be getting rid of these Be Perfect lip glosses as well. Unfortunately, I did open these and swatch these for the video, so I'm not going to put this in a giveaway pile. I'm actually going to either give this away to a friend or I'm going to eventually toss it. But these right here, all the Beauty Creations glosses that I know I'm probably not going to wear, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in a giveaway pile. And then in this little pile over here, these are all the shades that I'm planning on keeping. All right, so here's what the glosses are looking like. They look so much better. So many less glosses. Moving on to this side, these right here are the Lancome Juicy Tubes, and these have been around for years. They actually discontinued them and they brought them back, and I love these. They're amazing. I have about 2 of them in my purse, but I have not yet used these. These actually came in a holiday set and I never used them, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put all of these in the giveaway pile as well. But I am gonna keep this one. This one is actually my favorite shade. This one's in the shade Spring Fling. This is actually the one that I have in my purse. It is so beautiful and it just gives your lips such a beautiful high shine, but doesn't add too much pigment. It's kind of like your lips but better kind of color. So I'm going to hold on to this one. Next up, I have this Liquid Catsuit. This is a high shine lipstick. So basically this is just like a super pigmented gloss from Wet n Wild. As you can see, this one is brand new, and that's because this is one of my favorite shades that they carry. And this one is in the shade Send Nude. So I am going to keep this. I also have this gloss right here from the Retro Paradise collection with e.l.f. And I did use use it in that video. I haven't used it since, and the glitter in this is very chunky, especially when you rub your lips together. You can feel it kind of scratching your lips. We don't love that over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss this. Next, I have a few lip products from Lunar Beauty. I love Manny MUA's brand, so I'm gonna keep all 4 of these. I also have this gloss right here from Florence by Mills. This brand was created by Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, if you guys are not familiar. But I don't use it often, and as you can see, it's already separating at the top, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. I also have here the Tower 28 gloss, and this used to be a light brown color. I don't know what happened, but if you're seeing what I'm seeing, she is orange, which means that it is way overdue to be thrown in the trash, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. I also have this right here, and you guys look at this. How disgusting. The gloss is all out of the tube. There's a piece of dog hair on it. This is unacceptable, but this was from the Kendall and Kylie collection. I'm gonna get rid of this, obviously, because it leaked everywhere. I also have this gloss right here. This is the Lip Injection Lip Gloss from Too Faced. This one is in the shade Soulmate. It's a really beautiful nude gloss. I'm gonna keep this. I also have this Wet n Wild gloss that I never even used. I know this was a part of a special collection from Wet n Wild, and I don't like to use too many things on my channel that were limited edition or you can't get if I use. So I'm actually gonna put this in the giveaway pile, although it's a really beautiful color. Next up, I have one of the glosses from Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I know a lot of people are not a fan anymore, so I'm not even going to go on and on about this. I just want to show you guys that this was in there. But moving on, we also have one of the double glazed lip glosses from Be Perfect. So as you guys saw, I got rid of the bright colorful ones, but this nude one right here from the collection is bomb, and you can still get your hands on it. I highly recommend it. It's so beautiful. And then the last gloss that I have in here is from Ardell, and I haven't used it yet, but I'm excited to, so I'm gonna hold on to this too. All right, so that pretty much finishes these 2 acrylic organizers. I'm so happy with how much I got rid of in here. They look so much better. Of course, like I said, I just have to reorganize them a little bit, but for now, this is amazing. Perfect. I love it. So now we're finally going to get into these Alex straws. You guys, I am not ready. Okay, I'm not ready, but we need to get ready. So this first straw up here, okay, old iPhone. I don't even know why this is in here, but okay, we have an old iPhone in here. We're gonna get rid of that. Look how small the iPhones were. Okay, anyways, this drawer right here is eyeshadow palettes. Like I told you guys, these Alex drawers are mostly filled with eyeshadow palettes. I don't think I'm gonna get rid of much because some of the palettes that I would get rid of, they're palettes that you can't even find anymore. So I don't know, but I also feel like I should get rid of some of these ColourPop palettes because it's just not realistic to have. I used to be obsessed, just like everyone else, with ColourPop. When ColourPop first launched and was launching palette after palette after palette, especially these monochromatic palettes, I was obsessed, just like everyone else. I have all of them. I'm probably going to keep all of these, but there's certain palettes, like this palette back here, this Garden Variety, that I know I'm never going to use. So here's what that palette looks like. It is a really beautiful palette. The shimmers are gorgeous, and this was once appealing to me, but now looking at it, I'm just like, I know for a fact that I'm never going to use this palette. So I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of this. Next in here, I have all 3 of the mini Norvina palettes. I'm going to definitely keep all of these. I love them to death. They're amazing. I also have the ColourPop and Sailor Moon collection. This was an iconic collection. I'm definitely keeping this. I have already used it as well. I also have this palette from ColourPop too. This is called the Lil Ray of Sunshine, and this is what it looks like right here. It's a really beautiful palette, and it's an all matte palette, and I love the shade, so I'm going to keep this. I also have the full collection of the ColourPop tie-dye collection, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. I actually have never used these palettes, but I'm gonna keep this because I really love the packaging. I also have these 2 palettes from LA Girl that I've never used either, and I don't know if I should keep them or give them away. I think I'm just gonna give them up because I don't see myself using these anytime soon, so I'm gonna put these in the giveaway pile as well. I also have the ColourPop Big Poppy pressed powder palette. I don't even remember what this looks like, so let's open it up and see. Okay, so here's what that palette looks like. How beautiful. This is actually a really nice palette, and the tones are stunning, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. Next, I have this ColourPop palette right here. This palette is called the Coast to Coral palette. How pretty is this, you guys? It's so beautiful, and I just can't get rid of it. I can't. Like, look at the shimmers. I can't. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this too. You guys, honestly, I am the worst when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. Like, this is gonna be a disaster faster. This is going to be the downfall of my declutter. This right here is the Stormi and Kylie Jenner collection. Iconic collection, also was limited edition. She's staying in my collection. She's beautiful. I also have the first original Hocus Pocus collection with ColourPop. I feel like this collection really did let me down, but the eyeshadow palette was beautiful. So I did pick up the eyeshadow palette, and I feel like this year's Hocus Pocus collection just was not my cup of tea. But I mean, it's the Sanderson sisters. They're iconic, so I'm gonna hold on to this palette. Okay, so this is the 9H palette from Morphe. Wow. I didn't even know I had this palette in my collection. This is so pretty. Isn't she beautiful? I'm going to check to see if they still have this palette available. If they do, I'll keep it. And if they don't, then I'm going to go ahead and give it away to one of you guys. Okay, so moving into the back of the drawer, I have the Hola Chola palette from Becky G and ColourPop. This collection was iconic, and I use this palette a lot. This is one of my most used palettes, as you could see. It was limited edition, so this is something that I use off camera on my no makeup kind of days, and I love it, so I'm going to keep it. I also have this palette right here from ColourPop. This, I believe, is called the Birdie palette, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the giveaway pile because I know I'm never gonna use it, but it is absolutely stunning. Next up, I have the iconic Kathleen Lights and ColourPop Dream Street palette. I love this palette as well, and I've used it a few times, but I don't think I'm ever gonna use it again. However, it is a collaboration with a YouTuber, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to it. Next, I have this palette from ColourPop. This one is called A Flutter, and I've never used it before. I'm never going to use it, so I'm going to put this in the giveaway pile. I also have the At Forest Sight palette. This one right here was the collaboration with Raw Beauty Christy. I haven't used it yet, but the colors in here are probably one of the prettiest color stories I've ever seen ColourPop do, so I'm going to go ahead and save this. And then these last two palettes that I have in here were also YouTuber collaborations. As you guys can see, I love supporting the YouTubers that I watch. So this one right here is the Through My Eyes palette that they collaborated with I Love Sarai for. And it's such a pretty palette, but I don't really use it much. However, I'm gonna hold on to it because, like I said, it's a YouTuber's collaboration. And then this was the Perception palette by Makeup Shayla, and I'm gonna hold on to this as well. Okay, and then the last palettes that I have here are all of the ColourPop monochromatic palettes. So the Orange You Glad, Smoke Show, Strawberry Shake. These I absolutely love, and I cannot get rid of them. So I'm going to keep all of these palettes in my collection. Okay, so here's what the first drawer looks like. I feel like we did a pretty good job. You can actually see the bottom of the drawer, which says we made progress. So that's how that's going to stay. Moving on to the next drawer. Oh my goodness. You guys, this is what you call Makeup Hoarder 101. Anyways, let's move on to the first palette. This right here is the Sweet Talk Pressed Powder palette from ColourPop. I'm keeping this palette specifically because not only are the shades beautiful, and I've already used it, but look at the packaging. It's absolutely stunning, so I'm keeping this. If I can get this photo framed, I would put this up in my beauty room. That's how beautiful it is. So I'm gonna hold on to that. Next up, I have the Shades of Roses palette from Be Bella Cosmetics. I've used this palette once or twice, and it's honestly not one of my favorite palettes, and I don't see myself using it often, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. The next palette I have here is the Raw Beauty Christy and Pure Cosmetics palette. This was the palette that broke the internet, okay? I tried so hard to get it on launch day. It was impossible. I had to wait. It is a double-sided palette, which I'm trying to show you guys. One side had the neutral shades. This side has the colorful shades. It's a really beautiful palette, so I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this. Here, I have the Midnight Maven palette from Artist Couture. This is the first eyeshadow palette that Mac Daddy ever created, and I don't use it that often, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. I also have the Artist Couture Caliente palette, which I freaking love Artist Couture shadows, so I'm going to hold on to this. Of course, the iconic ColourPop and Lizzie McGuire collection. You know we are not getting rid of this. I mean, come on. So beautiful. Keeping this for sure. I also have the ColourPop and Barbie collection. We're keeping her as well. Packaging is sickening. Here I have the Huda Beauty new nude eyeshadow palette, and to be honest, I don't see myself ever using this ever again. I don't like the glitters in here. They're too chunky, and the shades are not my favorite, but it is a really beautiful palette. However, I feel like the packaging is so pretty, and it's something that I would use as like decor in my beauty room, so I'm going to hold on to it just because of that. Next, over here on this side, I have the Huda Beauty Pastels palettes. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to these. I also have a ton of these mini palettes from Too Faced, you guys. I don't want to open all of them because it's just going to take forever, but I'll open one to show you guys. So here's what one of the palettes look like. So it's a 5-pan palette with different colors, but it's kind of like the monochromatic 12-pan shadow palettes, but just 5 colors instead of 12. And these are really pretty, but I don't think I'm ever going to use them. So I'm going to actually put all of these in the giveaway bin. Okay, so moving on, I do have this palette right here. This one is from Urban Decay. This was a limited edition, but this palette is pretty cool because all of these shadows here, you guys can see they're super shimmery. These are all basically their moonshine, I believe they're called moonshine or moon dust shadows from Urban Decay, which is basically just a high shine shimmer shadow. And like I said, this is something that is limited edition. I'm probably gonna go ahead and get rid of this because I can't really use it on my channel and I have no other reason to really use it, so she's gotta go. Moving on, I have the I Love Sarai and Dose of Colors palette. I'm gonna hold on to this again because this is a YouTuber's collab and I love to support, so we're gonna keep her. Next, I have these 3 palettes from Dose of Colors, and I was obsessed with these when I got them. They're so beautiful, especially these Sassy Siennas, which is this one. This is definitely my favorite one out of all 3. It's such a beautiful palette and the formula is amazing, so I am gonna keep these. You guys, I'm not making much progress in this drawer. Next up, I have these palettes from Cara Beauty. They did send these over to me and I love them. They're so beautiful and they have all different kind of tones, different shades, and they're just really pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to these. And by the way, when I got these, I did a story. These palettes are actually dupes for these mini Norvina palettes, and let me just show you what I mean by that. All right, you guys, so for example, this right here is the Norvina mini palette volume 1, and this is the Cara Beauty Party Girl palette. Is it just me or these are identical? And of course the Cara Beauty is way more affordable and so much cheaper. So if they're still on their site and you guys have been interested in the mini Norvina palettes, I'm gonna go ahead and link the Cara Beauty website below. I also do have a discount code with them if you guys are interested, so you can save some extra money at the checkout. But yeah, so definitely worth looking into. And also the pan sizes of the Cara Beauty shadows are so much bigger than the Norvina. And their formula is also amazing. So just putting it out there. Okay, so moving on to the next palette. This one right here is from the brand Poppy Cosmetics. I got this palette based off of someone sending it to me on Instagram. I forgot who exactly it was. And she was just like, girl, you need this. And I was like, yes, I definitely do. This was a while back, probably last winter. And I never used it, but the shades are so beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it along and put it in the giveaway bin. And hopefully one of you guys get it and can create a super beautiful neon look with this palette because it is just so gorgeous. Moving on, I have a few Melt Cosmetics palettes here. This one right here is the Radioactive palette. I love the Melt Cosmetics formula, so I'm going to keep both this one and the Smoke Sessions palette as well. Okay, let's move on to some Natasha Denona. So I have 3 palettes from Natasha Denona. This is the first one that I have. It's a really beautiful neutral palette and the shimmers are incredible. The mattes blend so well. So of course, I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. I also have this palette from her as well. This is called the Love palette. I have yet to use it, but it is Natasha Denona and it was a pretty penny. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this too. And then I also have the beautiful Sunrise palette, which I haven't used yet, but I do wanna create a look with this because this color right here is so beautiful and so unique, so I'm gonna keep this for sure. And then in the back of the drawer, I have some really old palettes. You guys will see as we go through the eyeshadow palettes that I have some really nostalgic palettes. So this one right here is the Just Peachy Mattes from Too Faced. I feel like this was the first matte palette that I've seen that actually has some colorful shades in it. And by colorful, I mean very muted colorful shadows, but at the time there was not any super bright colorful shadows the way there are now. And this palette's just beautiful and it just brings back so much memories. So it's not something that I use, but it's more so like a keepsake kind of item. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this, as well as this palette down here. If you guys have been around for the OG YouTuber days, you know Jaclyn Hill has been the it girl since forever, and she did the infamous Becca highlighter in Champagne Pop. Champagne Pop went insane and it basically sold out everywhere. It was probably one of the biggest launches that year, and so she had decided to come out with this highlighter palette from Becca, and this is what it looks like. This is again just like a keepsake item, kind of like a collector's item that I'm probably never going to throw out because she's one of my favorite YouTubers of all time, so I'm going to keep this. Back here I also have the Violet Voss Bright Vibes palette. I love this palette. It's the perfect bright colorful shadow palette. You guys know how I feel about my color, so we're keeping this. And then all the way in the back I have this Violet Voss palette. This palette is so beautiful and I never got the chance to use it, but it looks stunning. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put this in the giveaway bin and give it to one of you guys, because I know if I put it back in here, I'll never use it, but it's so beautiful. And I hope one of you guys can get a good use out of this because she's stunning. Okay, so here's what the drawer is looking like, nice and cleaned out. It looks so much better than how it looked before, so I'm very happy about that. Moving on to the next drawer. So the first palette I have here, I just thrown in here. This is actually in my background for Halloween. This is the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. She's not going anywhere. I love this palette, and the packaging, you guys, is just amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to this. I have the Dose of Colors collaboration with Desi Perkins and Katie. They are best friends. I feel like they've been best friends their whole YouTube career, which is absolutely amazing. It's so amazing to meet someone via the internet, right? And then become super close. That's just, it's so bomb. So they created this really beautiful collection, and this is an iconic moment. I'm definitely keeping this palette. It's so beautiful, and even though it's probably expired, I still use this palette to this day. I also have the MAC and Selena collection. I bought the lipsticks, lip liners, and also the highlighter, and this is the eyeshadow palette. It's not something to use. I just bought it to have as a collector's item. How beautiful is the packaging? So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. Next up, I have the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. This, in my opinion, is the prettiest palette Huda has ever launched. I love it so much. I'm not too much into her newer palettes because they have like that jelly shadow, and I just don't love it, but this palette is just beautiful, from the packaging to the cover to the shadows to the different kind of textures that are in here. It's just beautiful, so I'm gonna keep this. This is a pastel palette from Beauty Bay, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep this as well. I also have the Artist and Muse palette from Makeup by Mario and Kim Kardashian, and as you guys can see, I haven't used it much, but I don't think I'm ever going to use it anyway because it's not something you can get anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and actually get rid of this. Next up, I have the Coral Crush palette from Violet Voss. Again, this is another palette that I never used. Don't think I'm going to, but the shades are so beautiful. Look at these shades, you guys. So stunning. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put this in the giveaway pile. Next, these are palettes that I recently bought. These are the mini Hello Kitty palettes with ColourPop, and I'm going to keep these. Moving on to the next palette, this is the Ace Beauty Nostalgia palette. This palette is so pretty, and their formula is so bomb. They actually have a new shadow palette coming out with a ton of green shades that I think I'm going to get too. So we're going to keep this because this palette is beautiful. I do have a tutorial on my channel using this palette. If you guys want to see it in action, I will link it down below. Next, I have a few of these mini palettes from P. Louise. These are so beautiful. They're like monochromatic palettes. I'll open one up to show you guys. So for example, this one right here is the all blue palette. So pretty. They also have an all pink and then one that has more purple tones, which is gorgeous. I have yet to use these, but I definitely need to use them soon. This blue one is beautiful. And do you guys see the prints in the shadows? So gorgeous. So we're definitely keeping these. Next up, I have the Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal palette. And I never even used this palette. It's brand new. I know I'm never going to use it. So I'm going to put this in the giveaway bin. Then I also have this palette right here from the brand Shroud Cosmetics. And this is called It's Freaking Bats. And I got this because the color story was something that I've never seen before. It's never been used though. And I'm not sure if I'm ever going to use it. So I'm probably just going to put it in the giveaway pile for you guys. But look at these shades. They're so gorgeous and so different and unique. I don't know what the formula is like because this is the first thing I ever bought from this brand, but hopefully you guys can try it out and let me know how it is. The next palette I have here is the Cat's Pajamas palette from Laura Lee Los Angeles. This palette is absolutely gorgeous. I love the tones. We're keeping her. And I also have the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette, the original Latte palette. Also such a beautiful neutral palette, and I'm gonna keep this. I also have this palette right here from ColourPop, and this palette was pretty cool because you buy the palette as a bundle with the shadows, but the shadows come individually wrapped, so you have to put them in the magnet palette on your own, and it's just so pretty and just so eye-catching, and I love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. I also have the iconic So Jaded palette from ColourPop and Kathleen Lights. Again, this is another collaboration palette, so we're gonna keep her. Back here, I also have the Dreamscape palette from Cara Beauty. Packaging is sickening, so I'm keeping this. And then I also have the Dominique Cosmetics Celestial Storm palette, which I'm gonna keep as well. Okay, so here's what the drawer is looking like now. It looks wonderful. I also just want to show you guys that those Hello Kitty palettes, I put them up here. And I also have this Mel Cosmetics stack, which I'm keeping because a really good friend of mine that I used to work with at Ulta with, she got that for me one year for our Secret Santa at work at Ulta. and I freaking adore it. I love it, and it's something that she put so much thought into, and she knew I really wanted, so it has a special place in my heart. So we're definitely keeping that, and I just put that right up there. And yeah, now we're gonna move on to this drawer. The first palette that I have here is the Candy Skies palette from Laura Lee and Erin Weaver, which is her niece. It's so beautiful. I haven't used it yet, so I'm going to keep this. I also have the Makeup by Mario Master Matte palette here, which if you guys seen my last Halloween tutorial, I did use this palette and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna be keeping this. So this one right here is called the Forever Flawless Fire palette. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in a giveaway because I've never used it and I'm never gonna use it. I mean, it's beautiful, but I don't think I'm ever gonna use it, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. This one I'm gonna go ahead and keep. I feel like this would be really nice if I wanna do a full affordable makeup kind of look. This will definitely come in handy, so I'm gonna keep this one. And that one is called the Forever Flawless Decadent palette. Then I also have this baby right here. This right here is the Makeup Revolution Birds of Paradise palette, and to be honest, this has a special place in my heart because I did a tutorial using this palette on YouTube, and to this day, it is the most viewed tutorial on my entire channel, and it's with an affordable palette. Like, what? So this has a special place in my heart. I love it so much. It's something that still people view so often today, which is crazy. So I'm definitely going to keep this palette. Then I also have the Artist Couture Supreme Nudes palette, which I'm definitely keeping. And then I also have these beautiful mini palettes from Profusion. They're just like colorful palettes. They're so pretty. I just never got the chance to use them, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in the giveaway bin. Next up, I also have the Beauty Creations Festival of Love palette, which I never used either. Here's what the palette looks like, and I believe this was a part of their Pride collection this past Pride or the one before. It's so pretty. I just never used it, but I am going to go ahead and save it. I also have the Glamour Gran, and this is called the Glam Goddess palette. I haven't used this palette yet either, but look at the shades. They're so beautiful, you guys. Let me just move out the light so you guys can see. So pretty. Definitely keeping this. And then back here, I have a few of the Melt Cosmetics palettes. I don't know if these palettes are still available, but these right here are just so beautiful. They basically magnetize together when you take them out of the box, and they create a skull, which is super cool. So I am going to keep these for sure, and I'm also going to keep the Rustic palette as well. Okay, so the next palette I have is from Be Bella Cosmetics. This is the Sweetest Valentine's Shadow palette. I also have a tutorial with this palette if you guys are interested. We're definitely going to keep this. And then back here, I just have a ton of Mora Cosmetics palettes that I actually purchased with my own money. So it's so crazy that I'm actually on their PR list now. But when I seen these, I just had to have them. Let me just open at least one to show you guys. I mean, look at this palette, you guys. This right here is a part of the Sweet Series collection. I don't know if that collection is still available for purchase. If it is, I'm going to link it down below, but look at this palette. It's so pretty. Here's another one, also super beautiful. And then here's the last one, which is more of a purple tone. How gorgeous. You guys see that purple right there with the glitter in it? So beautiful. Okay, so here's what the drawer is looking like now. So much better. Okay, so moving on to the next drawer. I'm going to try to finish this entire Alex drawer today. But instead of talking through the whole video, I'm going to go ahead and insert kind of like a time lapse and play some music and show you guys the palettes. And then once I'm done with each drawer, I'll show you guys what I'm going to get rid of and what I'm going to keep. really good. We're on a roll. Let's move on to the next one. All right, you guys, so I kind of messed up because I threw everything in the giveaway bin instead of putting it in a pile and showing you guys, but I want to show you my progress so far. So here's what the drawers are looking like. I'm sorry I'm not showing you guys every single palette at this point, but of course that will be more in-depth in the makeup collection video. So this drawer right here is full of my Be Perfect and Stacy palettes, and then we have some palettes here. I also did these drawers and those drawers. I still have to clean them because these Alex drawers, I don't know if you guys can see on the side, they get super dirty. But let me show you guys the giveaway bin. You guys, this bin is filled to the brim. I'm talking anything you can think of: eyeshadow, lip gloss, bronzer, blush, highlight, eyeshadow palettes. There's so much stuff in here. I'm gonna have to actually grab a different bin. I decluttered, okay? This is not a joke. I cannot wait to do giveaways for you guys. So I'm gonna end today's video here. I hope you guys are excited for the declutter series. I feel like I did really well. Let me know down below in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you think I did pretty good to declutter? I feel like I still have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, but I did pretty good, okay? This bin is filled. Like, give your girl some credit. So thank you guys so much for watching part 1 of this declutter, and hopefully in my next one we might do some foundations or maybe some lip products. Not sure yet, but make sure that you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.